Hello everybody, and I'm back again with another Smash Brothers video. A quick rundown of what this is I'm basically listing 5 characters I'd love to see as DLC for the next Smash Brothers game. There's reason to believe that we know about all the characters in Smash Brothers Wii U and 3DS, and if you'd like to know those reasons, I recommend checking out my other video, in which I list 5 other characters I'd like to see too. And without further ado, let's kick it off. Here's my list. Starting off, we have Quote, who you may remember from a small game called Cave Story. While he isn't technically a Nintendo character, all of his games, which include Cave Story and Cave Story 3D, have released on Nintendo consoles. For those unfamiliar with Cave Story, it's basically an homage to classic side-scrolling and shooting games. Kind of like Metroid or Castlevania. I think there's a word to describe that. I think it's called Castletroid. The main character of Cave Story, Quote, has control of many different types of weapons throughout the game, most of which are ranged gun attacks. I can easily picture Quote being one of the faster characters in the game with a lot of ranged gun-like attacks. Of course, if he had that, his drawback would have to be that most of his attacks would all be fairly weak, which is pretty true to the early parts of Cave Story when you have a very low level and weak weapon. This would make for a fairly diverse character, and it would be the first character that could use a gun for all the primary attacks, along with special attacks. And if done right, it would be a nice nod to all of the smaller games that Nintendo has recently started supporting through the eShop. Don't quote me on this, but he would be a really fun addition. Kind of a bizarre choice, but I think it could work actually pretty well. So Louie is the counterpart to Olimar in the Pikmin games, and is generally known for being lazy or overly scared at all signs of opposition. Basically the polar opposite of Olimar. So I think that if you use that as sort of a basis for his attacks, I think that, having the Pikmin throw him around instead of them getting launched would be a pretty fun and creative moveset for him. For example, having his side special attack be the Pikmin gathering together and throwing him as far as he can go. It will be based on how many he has out at the same time, or maybe even what kinds he has out. Like a purple one could launch him at critical speeds. Overall, if they just had the Pikmin being used in a different way than Olimar, it would definitely bring a more creative and unique moveset to Smash. Not that Olimar's isn't already creative, but mixing it up a lot more that would be icing on the cake for Pikmin fans. Of course, many people would view this as unnecessary. I mean, Pikmin doesn't really need another rep for the franchise. Olimar fills the role quite nicely, and there's little room for another rep. But I think that if they could do it right, it would definitely shake up the game a lot, and bring something entirely new to Smash Brothers as a whole. To be honest, I didn't even know she had a name until just recently, and it's still blowing my mind. When thinking about what Wario characters should be included in the game, most people would immediately jump to any number of the wacky, weird WarioWare characters, and I don't blame them. There's some pretty fun ones in there. But when thinking about a unique and special Wario character that's easily identifiable, I had to give the spot to Captain Syrup. She's a long-standing character of the Wario Land games, and her most prominent trait is how greedy she is. She rivals Wario in how she'll do almost anything for gold and other valuable items. Of course, besides being a long-standing greedy Wario villain, she's also a pretty competent pirate, and we've never had anything like a pirate in Smash Brothers before, and I think that given the chance, Sakurai would surely deliver an interesting moveset. I'm picturing something that's built solely around being offensive with an aggressive playstyle. No defensive moves at all. Such is the life of a pirate. Yar. With many weird and wacky Wario characters to choose from, I believe that she is the most unique and respectable character that could be chosen as a second Wario rep. Not necessarily a newcomer, but an old, returning favorite. People loved Mewtwo in Melee and were outraged when they found that he wasn't included in Smash Bros. Brawl. They had Lucario though, who shared some similarities and moves, but they were ultimately too different to be comparable. I think it's high time for Nintendo to give the fans what they want and return the king to his rightful place as the best Pokemon in the roster. I can't imagine them changing his moveset too much from Melee, as it was already pretty perfect. They had teleporting powers, psychic powers, and even tail whips. If they put him back in unchanged, it would really mean a lot to many of the older fans of the series, I'm sure that most of those older fans would instantly buy him as DLC. And to be fair, I think most of the new fans of the series will buy it too. I mean, Mewtwo's pretty prominent in X and Y with 2 megas, so he's pretty relevant nowadays, and I believe it's a solid win-win for everyone if they put him in. My number 1 pick for this list is someone who we see in almost every Mario game, but is greatly unappreciated. Daisy has earned her spot as being a solid fighter and not just a palette swap for Peach. If she ever gets in, I would want her nothing like Princess Peach. To me, she should be a representative of all of the Mario spin-offs that have happened. She should be a combination of Mario Strikers, Mario Party, Mario Golf, and even Mario Typing if need be. Her moveset could draw from all of the different games that she's been in. She could be in her Strikers outfit with most of her basic smash attacks being from the sports games. A baseball bat, tennis racket, golf club, all of those. Then as you get into the specials, you can really mix it up. Maybe have her ride a Mario Kart or a Mario Kart bike for her Spide special, kinda like Wario. Or have her spawn a Mario Party dice block and throw it at someone. With Waluigi sadly out of the running as a character, Daisy is the next best thing, and with a moveset that could draw from countless games, she would easily be the best princess in the game. Sorry, Rosalina. And that's another look at 5 more characters I'd like to see as Smash Bros. DLC. Agree? Maybe disagree. I urge you to comment and tell me a better character than Daisy. You can't. Impossible. There's no one else. She's the best. And that's all I have today, so thank you for watching. See you later.